Welcome to Mega Talk, the talk show in boxing. It's really good to be able to comment today on the big fight which is going to be coming up. That's going to be the rematch of Liam Smith versus Chris Eubank Jr. 2. This will all be taking place on the 17th of June 2023 and it's going to be happening at the Manchester Arena. Just a recap, the first fight, Chris Eubank got stopped in the fourth round. It was a very good fight leading up to that. He got dropped twice in the fourth round and the fight was stopped. What was really interesting for those people who had watched the press conference yesterday, Chris Eubank was basically saying that the fight shouldn't have been stopped. And yeah, he got buzzed, but he could have carried on. So yes, I watched the fight back again yesterday because Chris Eubank was saying he was just buzzed and he could have carried on. And when I watched the fight, it was evident that he wasn't just buzzed and he couldn't carry on. He was dropping over and the referee propped him up. So let's be real about this. Chris Eubank is very good at talking and he's trying to hype the fight. So I think there's a lot of hype in what he was saying. So this fight will be taking place on the 17th of June 2023 at Manchester Arena. Chris Eubank's record now is 32 wins, 3 losses and no draws. And Liam's fight record is 33 wins, 3 losses and 1 draw. So they are very similar. Chris Eubank is 5'11". Liam is 5'9.5". Chris Eubank started his campaign at middleweight and then he went up to fight at super middleweight. Remember, one of the fights that he had up there was James DeGale. You remember he fought George Groves as well. The other fight what he had, which was down at middleweight, was against Billy Joe Saunders. But I think we've realised that his fighting weight is best at middleweight. Liam, he campaigned at super welterweight and now he's just gone up to middleweight. He'll always be remembered for fighting Canelo. It doesn't matter if he lost. Canelo's arguably the best fighter in the world and Liam fought him. And also remember, Liam was a world champion. So yes, Big Beefy versus Chris Eubank Jr. I watched the fight again, as I said, just to have a reminder, especially after the press conference yesterday where Chris Eubank was saying a lot of statements and saying that he wasn't hurt and he was leading the fight leading up to it. And automatically I was thinking, I don't remember him winning the fight. So went back, watched it. He reckons that he was winning the first 3 rounds. He did throw some jabs in the first round, but the power shots were coming from Liam in the first and second round. I think Eubank probably had more success in the third round. That's the round when he threw about 6 or so uppercuts, connected with 1 or 2. But I wouldn't say that he was leading the fight at all. In fact, I think that everybody would have been surprised at the way how the fight had gone because everybody would have thought that Chris Eubank would have had control of that fight. I certainly didn't think that he had control of that fight. I don't know what you think, but one thing what I've looked on in that fight, what I think he has to use if he's serious about campaigning and getting a revenge, he has to use a jab more. The jab, when he did use it, it did seem to be effective and it was a good setup for him then to lead from that into an uppercut. But Liam certainly showed that he wasn't scared of him. Fighting him in close quarters, I think that if I was Liam, I know that Liam is more of a fighter. If I was Liam, I wouldn't be going in those close quarters with Chris Eubank for the rematch because Chris Eubank with those uppercuts are deadly. I still have this time round Liam as favourite to take this. I think one of the contributing factors for Chris Eubank in the last fight is definitely you've got to consider the weight loss that he had because he was going to fight Conor Benn and he was going to go down to a weight that he's not been since he was in his 20s. And he struggles. He's saying that he struggled to go down to that weight. I think the weight loss will be a problem. He says that when he does a weight loss this time, he's going to do more traditional methods, whatever way he's going to be doing. I think he'll be under less pressure. Let's see what happens in this fight. Who have you got as favourite? Do you think that Beefy can pull it back out again and have his second win? Or do you think that Chris Eubank, it was just a weight drain issue and this time he's going to soak up that punishment and he's going to march to victory? How have you got it? Thank you for listening to Mega Talk.